Today on Eagle Nation News, we have an episode all about togetherness. First, we see how a local food pantry is recovering from a fire. Next, we take a look behind the scenes at the Beach Boys concert. And finally, we ask students at PHS who will win the Super Bowl. All of this and more on today's edition of Eagle Nation News. Good morning, Eagle Nation, and thank you for joining us. I'm Isabel Moulter.
And I'm Callie Swick. Bringing this week's news, ENN starts right now. Welcome back, Eagle Nation, and thank you for joining us again here at Studio 301.
Today is Thursday, January 30th, and good thing we're in the studio today as there are passing clouds and rain today. The high is 66 degrees and the low is 50 with 75% humidity.
The weather has been so cold lately here in Texas, but a hot meal is always nice to keep you warm.
But not everyone has the satisfaction of enjoying a hot meal. A local food pantry here in Prosper is fighting back against a recent tragedy. Christina Krasnova has more.
I'm at Neighbors Nourishing Neighbors Food Pantry, where a large fire recently broke out and left the building in ruins. Some of the food was also burned beyond safe consumption, which has hindered the pantry significantly.
The evening on Saturday night, we got a call to a structure fire in a warehouse building. On arrival, fire units found a heavy fire in the center area of the building. With smoke that was throughout.
Neighbors Nourishing Neighbors is the oldest food bank in Prosper, serving since the 1980s. Combined with the age of the building, the cold temperatures of the night of January 18th is what led to this tragedy.
We just stood out and watched it burn, and then we started talking out in the street that night about how we were going to come in the next day and assess the damage.
What didn't get fire damage itself, it got a lot of smoke and water damage because we flowed thousands and thousands of gallons of water.
This kind of damage is debilitating. Nobody was injured, but before the fire, the pantry served more than 300 families a week.
We lost thousands of pounds of meat, fish, poultry. All that stuff was lost because we just, in good conscience, couldn't give it out to the community.
Even with this finding, Neighbors Nourishing Neighbors hasn't stopped bringing safety and security to Prosper. With the help of multiple outside organizations, including Young Men's Service League, volunteers have organized to help salvage as much as they can.
We clean the boxes and get all the ash and soot off of it, and then we put them back so that we can still use them to conservation efforts to people around the community.
It's now been 2 weeks since the fire, and the pantry has come up with a temporary solution so they can keep providing their services to the community.
We've taken everything out of our warehouse that we needed to store in these facilities you see behind me. We're just hoping and praying that that's going to work until we come up with a place where we can call our next home.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Christina Krasnova.
If you want to aid in the fire recovery, text N3FIRE to 50155 or visit the Neighbors Nourishing Neighbors website shown below.
Seeing how our community is coming together to help these businesses is so special and shows the power of unity. And while we're on the subject of unity, three brothers have united to do a Christmas show. Stay tuned, Talent Talk is next.
This Valentine's Day, buy handcrafted treats and flowers from PHS Floral Design to support Prosper FFA members. Just $3 can help cover competition fees and the state FFA convention costs. Order by February 6th for delivery on February 13th. If you're interested, scan the QR code.
From music to movies, new things are always coming out in Hollywood.
Maddie Kep is in the studio with this week's Talent Talk.
Thanks, Callie. Starting off in the music world, new releases have been all over. From folk to pop, Tate McRae is ready to release her third studio album, So Close to What. The album will drop February 21st, but she gave us an early listen to the album, dropping one of those new songs this past Friday, Sports Car. The song is quickly racing to the top of charts, making it to the top 24 on Spotify on its first day. But Tate wasn't the only one releasing new music this past Friday. Stranger Things star Joe Keery, also known as Joe, dropped his new song, Basic Being Basic. The song is just one of 12 new songs we'll be hearing from him with his new album, The Crooks, coming out April 4th. Moving from the music world to the movie world, but staying in the realm of pop stars, these three brothers are going back to their roots. Even though we've just wrapped up the holiday season, the Jonas Brothers are coming back to the screen with a new holiday movie, premiering next holiday season. The movie will follow the trio as they struggle with a series of obstacles to make it from London to New York in time to spend Christmas with their family. The brothers announced the movie in a promo that honors the holiday classic Love Actually. Take a look.
Hi, we're the Jonas Brothers. Don't say it. The whole point is you don't say it, you just let them read it. Should we go to the next house?
It's safe to say Christmas has arrived 11 months early. And staying on the Disney Channel flow, brothers Jake Paul and Logan Paul officially announced on social media the series with, quote, "the moment you've waited a decade for." The post features a head-to-head shot of the brothers with the March 27th date and the Max logo. The graphic definitely confused Paul brother fans, thinking they were going head-to-head in the ring. Now, if this was a fight, we'd be seeing the fall of Jake Paul for real now. But I would love to know what y'all think back at the desk.
With Tate McRae's tour starting in August, I think this new album is going to hit it out of the park.
I don't know about you, Isabel, but I grew up watching the Jonas Brothers and Camp Rock, so I'm excited to see them back in the acting world. And many of us here at PHS grew up at middle schools and Prosper ISD, and there is a new one coming soon. Zane Jahangiri has more.
I'm here at the Prosper Administration Building, where we learned that 2 new buildings in Prosper are being named after former Superintendent Dr. Drew Watkins. The 2 buildings are the 7th middle school in the district, that'll be named Kristen and Dr. Drew Watkins Middle School, and the new admin building named Dr. Drew Watkins Administration Building. Dr. Watkins was superintendent for 18 years, from 2002 to 2020, and many students, including myself, remember him from visiting our elementary schools and have so many fond memories of him. Back to you guys at the desk.
There will also be a Watkins Elementary set to open in the 2027 school year.
With Prosper growing so fast, the need for new schools is so important.
Yes, with more and more students in the district every year, we are so fortunate to have outstanding CTE courses at PHS.
And one of those courses is the audio video program. This class gave students a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Nula Adam plays us the story of how these students stepped up into the spotlight. Through a Carrollton-based production company with a tie to Prosper High School, students are being brought into the field.
You know, when I was in high school, we didn't necessarily have internships or anything like that. And so it was always a thought of mine to involve students. I had the pleasure of working professionally with Mr. Mike Logan before he became a teacher. He and I kind of discussed getting the Prosper students involved. He brings me students that are already enthusiastic about learning in this type of business, and they're hard workers.
And their hard work paid off when they were chosen to work on a special event.
Broadcast students that are part of the stadium crew here at Children's Health Stadium were handpicked to go down to Dallas to be able to film and to do one of their concerts for a Catholic charity event. My favorite part was probably when I realized that it was the Beach Boys. We've been given an incredible opportunity at the high school level.
Just the exposure to see, is this kind of work something I might want to do in the future? And they get to hear some good music.
And these students didn't have to wait till they were older to start getting real-world experience.
I believe the students are gaining a valuable experience, both professionally and personally.
To be able to get this experience, to be able to see what it's like out in the industry, to be able to talk to people who do this for a living, it's really important to get that early on. It really gives you a preview of what you're going to get if you end up going into the industry.
They're learning and getting to experience something that they would not necessarily have been exposed to if not for this opportunity.
On top of the good vibrations, this opportunity also taught some valuable lessons.
Something that live production teaches you is if something wrong happens, you just have to keep moving forward and keep moving on. Don't take things for granted.
Hard work will pay off, and I think that lesson will benefit them greatly.
Reporting for Eagle Nation News, I'm Nula Adams. The Beach Boys have been around for over 6 decades and sold over 100 million records worldwide. But funny enough, the band has just 4 #1 singles and they've never won a Grammy.
They should have definitely won more awards, that's for sure. Now, a group of girls that are on their way to winning some awards are the PHS girls basketball and soccer teams. Bradson Swick has details on Game Time next.
Here we go!
From close wins to absolute shutouts,
Bradson Swick is in studio with this week's Game Time.
Thanks, Isabel. Let's start off this week's Game Time with our boys soccer team.
who last Friday faced off against the Fake Birds on the other side of town, who is also known as Rock Hill, on our home field. Now, the first half of this game was back-to-back, as both teams played very good offense with multiple shots on both goals, but Rock Hill was the first to put a point on the board in the second half. However, this did not stop your Eagles as they responded with 2 goals of their own, taking the win with a final score of 2-1. And after looking at the stats of this game, there is no doubt that number 10, senior Lucas Tausen, took the MVP for this game as he put up all of Prosper's goals and had 5 shots on goals as he was dominant all throughout this game. But now moving into this week, last night the boys played Plano Senior and both teams struggled to finish at the goal, but your Eagles were able to find the first goal of this game in the first half. However, Plano was quick to respond, finding their own goal going early into the second half. But after that, it seemed that both teams just couldn't get themselves in a good position to score, which led this game to a penalty shootout, which then both teams went back and forth, putting this game into a sudden death round where our goalkeeper, number 1, senior Keegan Seymour, had an amazing save, winning this game for Prosper. But now switching over to the girls soccer, your Lady Eagles had the same schedule as the boys, taking on Rock Hill last Friday. And just like the boys game, it was very quiet for the first half, with both teams struggling to find holes in the defense. But after a long back and forth battle, your Lady Eagles were able to sneak in a very nice goal in the last couple of minutes, taking this win home 1-0. The ladies then went head-to-head against Plano Senior last night and took home another close win with number 22 sophomore Chloe Griffith scoring the only goal of this game and making the final score 1-0. Both the boys and the girls' next game will be this Friday against McKinney High School away at McKinney, so good luck to our Lady Eagles. Now switching from the field to the court, let's talk about your Prosper girls and boys basketball. First starting with the boys as they played the McKinney Lions on the road, and your Eagles had full control of this game, shutting out the Lions 55-39. They then came into this week hoping to get revenge on the number 1 state-ranked Allen Eagles, but after a hard and long battle, the Eagles just couldn't keep the momentum, falling short to Allen 98-63. And with that, this team is now standing at a record of 20-8 as they approach playoffs. But now looking at our Lady Eagle basketball team, they had the exact same schedule as the boys as they played McKinney last Friday as well. But your Eagles completely embarrassed the Lions, leaving them in the dust 76-47. But their dominance did not end there as they then turned around to face Allen. But unlike your boys team, your Lady Eagles were able to scrape away from this game with a close win, ending this game off with a final score of 51-48. The ladies are now at a 23-7 record, sitting at 23rd in the state, and this team has been looking very promising all season. And me personally, I cannot wait to see how good this team once playoff comes around. And with that, both these teams are expected to face off against the Princeton Panthers at Princeton, so good luck to our boys and girls basketball. And speaking of playoffs, Super Bowl number 59 is right around the corner with a rematch between the Eagles and the Chiefs from 2 years ago. Shemaya Landor took to the halls to hear what fellow students think about this year's rematch.
Thanks, Braston. I'm here in the PHS hallway to talk with some PHS students to see their thoughts and opinions on Super Bowl 59. Who do you think is going to win this year?
I think the Eagles, because Chiefs, they got the refs on their side.
Probably the Chiefs because the refs are always on their side. I really want the Eagles to win, but Chiefs.
Yeah, exact same answer as him. It's always the refs for the Chiefs, but yeah, let's go Eagles.
You want my conspiracy answer or you want like my actual answer?
Yeah, conspiracy.
My conspiracy answer is definitely the Kansas City Chiefs because there is no way that they are not going to let them make history. But my actual answer is still the Kansas City Chiefs, unfortunately.
Actually, I'm hoping both teams lose. I don't like the Philadelphia Eagles. They're terrible, and Chiefs have won too many Super Bowls. So a 0-0 tie is what I'm hoping for.
I think it's going to be the Chiefs winning the three-peat, third time.
How many times do you think Taylor Swift's going to show up?
About 50.
I'm going to say at least 7.
7?
At least 7, unfortunately.
Taylor Swift doesn't need to be involved in football, right? Taylor Swift isn't playing football. It's about the Super Bowl in the game. So I'm going to say no times.
20 times. 20 times. Actually, 27 times. Yep.
Probably about 5,000 times.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Whether they win or lose, she'll be seen about 5,000 times.
Me personally, I'm really hoping that the Eagles win, and I hope they don't show Taylor Swift as much this year. That's all I have for you, Eagle Nation. Back to you, Callie and Isabel at the desk.
It's crazy how these teams are rematching just 2 years after they played each other in Super Bowl 57. I want the Eagles to win. I'm getting tired of seeing the Chiefs win all the time.
Honestly, agreed, but either way, it'll be a great game next Sunday.
That's all we have for you today, Eagle Nation. Thank you for letting us tell your stories. Once again, I'm Callie Swick.
And I'm Isabel Molter. Have a great weekend, and go Eagles.